The story begins in the shadow of a fading empire after the death of Xerxes I. The once mighty Persian court is no longer a symbol of absolute control, but a place filled with whispers, suspicion, and fragile alliances. In dimly lit halls, nobles speak in hushed tones, and power shifts not through strength, but through intrigue. One ruler replaces another. Artaxerxes I takes the throne and holds the empire together for a time, but the cracks are already forming. Over the years, assassinations, betrayals, and internal conflicts slowly erode the strength that once allowed Persia to dominate the known world. By the time Darius III rises to power, the empire is still vast, but no longer unshakable. Far to the west in the rugged lands of Macedon, a different story is unfolding. A young prince stands before a restless army, his presence commanding despite his age. This is Alexander the Great, the son of Philip II of Macedon, who has just been assassinated. The air is tense as uncertainty hangs over the kingdom, but Alexander does not hesitate. He moves swiftly, eliminating rivals, securing loyalty, and proving himself not just as a successor, but as a leader destined for something greater. His ambition is not limited to ruling Macedon. He looks east, toward Persia, a land rich, powerful, and in his eyes vulnerable. The memory of past invasions still lingers in Greek consciousness: the burning of cities, the march of Persian armies under kings like Xerxes. Alexander speaks not only of conquest, but of revenge, of destiny, of uniting the Greek world under one purpose. His army, hardened and disciplined, begins its march. The crossing into Asia Minor in 334 BCE is quiet but heavy with meaning. This is not just a campaign. It is the beginning of a war that will change the world. At the banks of the Granicus River, the first real test emerges. Persian forces gather, confident that they can crush this young invader before he gains momentum. The river flows between them, swift and unforgiving, a natural barrier that should protect the defenders. But Alexander does not wait. He rides forward, leading the charge himself, plunging into the water as his cavalry follows. Arrows fly, spears clash, and for a moment, chaos reigns. The outcome hangs in the balance until the Macedonian forces break through. The Persians falter, then collapse. It is a decisive victory, and with it, the gates of Asia Minor swing open. As Alexander advances, city after city falls. Some resist, others surrender, but the momentum is unstoppable. Meanwhile, Darius III prepares to face this growing threat. He gathers a massive army, far larger than anything Alexander commands, confident that sheer numbers will bring victory. The two forces meet near Issus in 333 BCE, where the terrain narrows between mountains and sea. It is here that numbers lose their advantage. The battlefield is tense, the air thick with anticipation. Alexander studies the ground, understanding that this confined space will neutralize Darius's numerical superiority. When the battle begins, it is swift and brutal. The Macedonian phalanx holds the line, while Alexander leads a precise and devastating charge toward the Persian center. The moment is critical. If he can reach Darius, the battle will be decided. Panic spreads through the Persian ranks as Alexander cuts through their defenses. Then, in a moment that will echo through history, Darius turns and flees. His army, seeing their king abandon the field, begins to crumble. Victory at Issus changes everything. It is no longer just an invasion, it is the unraveling of an empire. Yet Alexander does not pursue Darius immediately. Instead, he turns south, understanding that control of the coast will strip Persia of its naval power. The campaign becomes slower, more methodical. The siege of Tyre stands as one of the greatest challenges. The city, perched on an island, believes itself untouchable. But Alexander is relentless. He orders the construction of a massive causeway, pushing through waves and resistance alike. For months, the struggle continues, until finally the walls are breached. The fall of Tyre is brutal, sending a clear message: resistance will be met with overwhelming force. Continuing south, Alexander enters Egypt, where he is not seen as a conqueror, but as a liberator from Persian rule. The atmosphere shifts. There are no great battles here, no desperate resistance. Instead, he is welcomed, revered. In this land of ancient traditions and powerful gods, Alexander embraces a new identity, one that goes beyond that of a king. He founds a city, Alexandria, a place that will one day become a center of culture and knowledge. But the war is not over. Far from it. Darius is still alive, and he is preparing for one final stand. In 331 BCE, the two armies meet again, this time on the wide plains of Gaugamela. Unlike Issus, this battlefield is chosen by Darius. It is vast, open, carefully prepared to give his forces every possible advantage. His army is enormous, bolstered by cavalry, chariots, and even war elephants. Everything is set for a decisive confrontation. As dawn breaks, the scale of the Persian army is overwhelming. Yet Alexander remains calm. He adjusts his formation, stretching his lines, drawing the Persian forces outward. The battle begins with thunder chariots charge. Cavalry sweeps across the field, and the ground trembles beneath thousands of soldiers. But Alexander's strategy begins to unfold. Slowly, deliberately, he creates a gap in the Persian line. Then, at exactly the right moment, he strikes. Leading his elite cavalry, Alexander drives straight toward Darius once again. It is a bold, almost reckless move, but it is calculated. The Persian king, seeing the attack coming directly at him, hesitates. The memory of Issus lingers. And then, just as before, he turns and flees. That single moment decides the fate of the Persian Empire. Without their king, the Persian army collapses into chaos. What was meant to be a decisive victory becomes a devastating defeat. The road to the heart of Persia is now open. Alexander advances, capturing Babylon, Susa, and eventually Persepolis, the ceremonial capital of the Persian Empire. The city is filled with unimaginable wealth, a symbol of centuries of power. And yet, in a dramatic and controversial act, it is set ablaze. Flames rise into the night sky, consuming the legacy of kings like Xerxes, marking the end of an era. Darius III, now a king without an empire, flees eastward, hoping to regroup. But his journey ends not in glory, but in betrayal. Abandoned by his own men, he is killed before Alexander can reach him. When Alexander finally arrives, he does not celebrate. Instead, he honors Darius with a royal burial. A gesture that signals something profound. He is no longer just a conqueror. He is now the ruler of Persia. In the aftermath, the world has changed. The Persian Empire, once the greatest power on earth, is gone. In its place stands Alexander, a king who has united lands stretching from Greece to the heart of Asia. But more than that, a new culture begins to emerge, one that blends Greek and Persian traditions, shaping the future in ways no one could have imagined. And as the dust settles, one truth becomes clear. This was never just a war of armies. It was the passing of a torch from one great empire to another, from the legacy of Xerxes to the legend of Alexander.